Okay, so today we are going to do another drawing and prepare ourselves for the eclipse season, which we are expecting 3 eclipses. First is happening today on June 5th, and next will be on June 20th or 21st, and July 4th at the evening, which actually will be visible in Seattle area I have a note. At 9:29 p.m. will be the maximum visible in Seattle area, the lunar eclipse. So the eclipses, we traditionally people have this animal instincts towards eclipses because the darkness is really scares people, and it's something unexpected. Usually it happens unpredictable for ancient times, and it's causing many distractions and many changes in our lives. So in astrology, eclipses happening because full moon or new moon happens near the karmic nodes, like the south node or north node. So we really has this instrument from the above to make sure that we are on the right path for our karmic destiny. Like, what is the greatest lesson that we need to learn during this lifetime? What is the great lesson that our soul should learn, and humanity in general? So how we are going to use Neurographica, and what for we are going to use Neurographica? First of all, we need to release this anxiety about eclipses. We need to prepare ourselves to what we expect in the next month. So, and find resources. Like, first of all, we need to understand what is resource for R. Like, what is it? Like, what we can recognize as a resource. Is it a person, or is it a knowledge, or is it a meditation, or maybe a skill that we want to use more to prepare ourselves and find this inner peace. And another thing that it's really to see that everything is connected, that everything has the purpose, like that nothing is random, nothing is evil in the what is going to happen. Like, if the change is going to happen, try just to follow the change and see where does it lead you. But if you are going to like really try to like no, like I want to ignore everything, there will be no changes, I'm tired of changes, and this is where the pain begins, and this is where the stars will start pushing you. Like, the really eclipses will push you if you don't want to go freely. And it's your choice how you're going to walk this destiny, how you're going to walk this eclipse season and prepare yourself for bigger changes, and how you can be joyful about these changes, and maybe recognize them as needed and recognize them as blessings. So this is what we basically will learn. Like, we will prepare ourselves and for this interesting time. Like, eclipse is always intense. It's not just a full moon or new moon, it's like 10 multiplied by 10, so it's like really could be very intense emotionally, because nobody wants to change. And when eclipses happens in astrology on a different signs and zodiac signs, and it happens about every 18 months, and agenda for whole people is changing for next 18 months. So axis has changed in May, and now the karmic nodes are in Gemini and Sagittarius. So the destiny, like really like our agenda for next 18 months, it's until January 2022. Like, it's quite a long time. will be about communication, living locally, about education, but not significant education like a second degree or maybe a diploma, higher education. It's some quick courses to acquire the useful skills, and it will be quite a lot. And communications. Is it going to be a lot of driving, movement, but not far away? It's not like overseas. It's usually some car trips, road trips. So just be prepared. Another fun thing is always to look back. How did it work for you about 18 and a half years ago? Like 18.6 is the whole movement of the karmic knot. So see what happened about 18 and a half years ago. It was definitely fun time for me because we moved to US about 3 weeks before 9/11. So the last time in Gemini and Sagittarius, karmic knots were in October 2001. So right after the 9/11. And world has changed. And world, like, definitely for me, I've had to learn a new language. For me, adapt to the new environment, had completely changed my communication with people, and learned a lot. So I'm already excited to see how it's going to work for me. But like, it's a lot talking, so let's start drawing, and because there will be some more information during the drawing. Okay, I'm switching camera, and please ask questions if any question. And I just turned off my camera. Okay, so this is one, I'll show you two of my drawings related to the eclipse season. So this was my first one, and you see I added some silver lines. And this was my second one, and it was really fun. And see what is going to be very important for me was very interesting. So I'm very excited to see what will be my third drawing about eclipses. So for eclipses, we will start from very unusual point, like really from the end, actually. And we usually, eclipses always show us what is our karmic destiny, like what is our karmic goal, what is our karmic lesson, like what we need to learn, what we need to like really acquire skills. It's something that is very hard for us, but very important. So if you know astrology, you know that the North Node is always showing you in your natal chart what is important for you as a soul to learn during this lifetime. So and everything that you do is going to lead you to this lesson, to this acquire the skill. So before we start, I inviting you to draw this how to say, like the best karmic journey for the soul, like really this karmic path that you should go on. And we are going to do it by drawing two field lines, like universal lines, that is really at the very beginning. So you define how wide is the path, how bold are those lines, and they can go different directions, but try to create the path, try to create the way that you can go on without, like, because if it will be like 90 degrees crossing, it will be hard to find the right direction. So draw two field lines. Again, so the eclipses are points on this journey that really helps you to navigate, like really this milestone that helps you to adjust your journey, to adjust your way. So if you're going on a site and losing so much energy and time there, eclipses will return you to the direction, like to be on time, to be on the right path. So next step, what I invite you to draw 3 eclipses that we're expecting. So we're expecting the lunar eclipse on June 5th. We already have one. And you see where on this path it belongs, like where does it locate it? And how big is it gonna be for you, like emotionally big for you? So try.
The mark is gonna be for what?
One more time, Trish.
The mark that we're gonna make is representing.
It's not marking. So we are going to draw the eclipse, and for some reason, like it's gonna be represented by just a symbol. We're drawing a symbol, so just a circle that will represent lunar eclipse anywhere on this path, and the size that is really you want, like your body wants to draw. Like this is going to be the value of this important eclipse for you, how important it's going to be for you. Next is going to happen solar eclipse, and it will be very important and very, so just see where is it going to, wow, it's huge for me. Okay, see where is it on path is going to happen the solar eclipse. And the third is another lunar eclipse. As I said, is going to be visible in Seattle area. And you identify again. So for me, I already see that the solar eclipse is going to be huge for me. Like this is really the milestone that is going to give a lot of energy. It can't be dramatic because it's big, but it can give me so much information and so much energy to move forward, to really going forward. So see if you still have any free space, or if any of those.
Question.
Yes.
Does Eclipse have to be on your lines, or if I want it in a spot that's not on my lines, that's okay?
It's okay. If it's not online, it's okay.
Okay.
Sometimes, like if you're moving in the direction as it should be, eclipses are really not affecting you. So for you, it's maybe be on other sides. So it's like really not, maybe some of them will be nothing to you. Just see, like where does it belong? Where does it, and how big it's gonna be? So you don't really need to like, it's your perception, it's your intuition. You trust your body, you trust your subconscious mind. This is a message from your subconscious mind to see what you want to, what you need to know about this eclipse season. So we're preparing ourselves. So the very next thing, see if any of those areas gives you unease, like if something is really gives you such a strong resistance, some headaches, some maybe discomfort. If you have such like strong emotions, do catharsis in that shape. If you don't have, we may start unlock energy from those eclipses. We may start adding some neuroline, just unpack this energy from eclipses and see which one.
Anya,
Yes.
sorry. So catharsis we can do on this piece of paper or somewhere separate?
So I advise, like, if, for example, if I have a restless info, like emotions about, for example, about this shape, and for me, because it's so big, it's a little bit scary. So I can do catharsis inside of this shape. It should not be very big, but something that, like, really this resistance that I experience, I can do a catharsis inside of the shape, and I do rounding and expand, like unpacking this energy, unpacking this information easily for me, like something that I can accept and digest this information, and it will actually inspire the rest of the drawing. But if you don't have any unease about those eclipses, you can just start exploring them and see which eclipse is really you're thinking about more, like you want to explore more, you want to, like, really find this energy more. So when you start drawing this neurolines and just allow it to go wherever it goes, like wherever it wants to go, which shape wants to, like, you want to invest more energy, more time, more, like you are more curious about, and just see, just explore.
So basically, how that eclipse impact in our mood and life or
Yes.
future?
It's like really how you can use this energy, eclipse energy, to navigate to your karmic path. Like how you can take this energy to move forward. How, like, not resist it, not afraid of it, not to hide from it, but use it to move forward. To like, we invest some energy, but it's gonna be growing and unpacking more resources from the eclipse. We really trying to use eclipse as a resource, as a navigation, like as a map to navigate, like where should I go or where should I not. So it's really we're talking about energies. So how you can use this enormous energy, like lunar eclipse is always happens on full moon, and full moon is about what I need to see, what was hidden from me before, from my subconscious was hidden, like what was hidden in my subconscious, what I'm ready to see, what I want to see, what I need to see. So this full moon multiplied by eclipses, like really significantly intense, will, like a projector, will show you what you need to know right now, and it will lead you to what will be the next step, or maybe even what will be the next few steps. So you use this lunar eclipse. If it's a solar eclipse, it happens on new moons, and it's always like new moons is about ending old and beginning something new. Like, what can I begin, what I'm ready to step in the next, in something next project, what is this new beginnings, and how I can, what can I initiate, what kind of change in my life I can actively participate, instead of just like be a victim and see how this waterfall will wash me out. So it's like really, it's a great It's a little bit not modest, like it's a good metaphor about waterfall and the energy of eclipse. Like you can use it, or you can be washed out, or you could be collapsed by it. So we want to use this waterfall, and we want to be prepared. How, like, what kind of what do I need? Do I need a draft, or do I need a boat, or do I need a very strong ship to move forward? So this is and as you see, the lines really showing like a waterfall, and it's interesting. And next step, like when we have this enough lines, if you feel like it's already too much, or is it already getting overwhelming, start rounding corners. Don't do anything else, because it could be a little bit too much. So we let's do round corners and see how you feel about it. Like when we already have a little bit glimpse of this energies, and adapt ourselves. Like this is a preview how I can rest. There will be some more later, but I don't want just overwhelm you with all this information. And now I've done this unexpected catharsis in my solar eclipse, and now I'm need to round it to make sure that everything is out of, like, there is no conflicts, there is no and it's interesting what I've noticed, that compared to prior circles, prior drawings, it's almost the same intensity. So there is a very big solar eclipse and not as big lunar eclipse, but so much lines. It's like it's really, the lunar eclipse is more emotional, but solar is more like maybe more eventful, or maybe more dramatic. So somehow. Yeah. Okay. So you just start rounding. One more thing that I want to mention, that in astrology, everything is a cycle. And once when something is ending, it becomes a foundation for for future. The past is always a foundation for our future. And the last 18 months, before May, before it's changed the axis, the karmic nodes were in Cancer and Capricorn. And so it was about family, it was about safety, it was about mother, your hidden fears, about house, home, your personal home. And we all noticed that those themes were like very profound for all of us. And if you had any difficulties about it, like if you worked on it and you found your peace, this will become your resources. This will become your potential allies. And it's like really helping you to move to next phase easier. But if you was already not satisfied or very resistant about changing your like some challenges in your family and it's not resolved, you will be forced to to work on it as fast as possible. Like you still have some time to finish it, to find this resolution. So it's very important to understand that what you haven't done, like if you haven't done homework about the prior lessons, it will be very hard to easily come through the next one. Like if you haven't learned the second grade, it will be very hard for you to be in third grade. So everything is built up on this one. So think like, did you have any experiences about working on your family, about your ancestry line, about your homeland, about your relationship with family, finding support in family, finding peace in family? I know that it's in my family, it was like very big themes. Sometimes it was uncomfortable, but I'm so happy that we resolved all those issues before the coronavirus. And it's like now I feel support from the family, but I know that for many people it's still be very sensitive subjects. And it's we still have some time to try to find this resolutions, like to find this peace with these topics. We don't really need to make any radical decisions, and I highly recommend don't do any radical decisions during the eclipses, because it will be very hard to fix. Like if you separated from somebody, it will be almost impossible to connect back. There are some exceptions, of course, but it's there is such a potential that it will be final. So if you don't want any final decisions, try to not initiate any big endings, or accept them as they meant to be for you. Just be prepared for it. Okay, so I found already some peace with my solar eclipse, and just and again, it's not about changing events, but you may find the wisdom in each event. You may find the beauty and support in each event. And events can be different. For sometimes we can have quite dramatic events, but find this the purpose of it and say like, oh, thank God it happened to me. I'm like really have a completely different perception of life and relationships, and all this interesting events in my life that happened was causing so much beautiful changes. So this is the purpose, what we are going to do. So next, you may, like if you rounded already your neurolines, you may start see what is there anything next month till July 5th, till July, let's say 5th, any project that must happen no matter what, like if they need to happen, or if you want to like really planning to initiate some changes, like if there is anything that gonna happen, this could be birth of a child, or maybe birthday, or maybe something that you cannot or don't want to change the timing. For example, it happened a little bit before eclipses, but on June 1st, we started a new course, a Neurographica course. And I was like very excited about this course. So I'm placing this course here and see how important it is for me. How big is it? It's quite big. It's not a small circle. And I see how is it energy is like really affecting me. Which, is there any energy that's really, it's not in conflict with anything. So it's so for me, it's very important to understand that there is no conflict. And it's moving freely through all this intense times. And it actually gives me a lot of support. It gives me this sensation or feeling of movement. But I know, like just by looking at the shapes of this, I see that it's not the most important what is going to happen. So I'm just like, okay, so nice, it's began, it's gives me some movement, but it's not something that is like really important, not the focus of my attention. I can see it because of this, how many lines it has, how it's like really interacting with other shapes. What brings my attention that on my drawing, there is a very intense area here. And I'm very curious, what is this intensity about? It's a little bit on the side of lunar eclipse. It's not really the lunar eclipse itself. So I want to draw a circle to give this, like, to identify it, like it's like a lot of energy here. And I just allow myself to look at this, to see how do I feel about it, what does it need. So next, if I have other projects, I can put it on this timeline. It's really about timeline, about this karmic timeline, that you can draw some additional events that is already planned or like expected during this next month. So what next we are going to do, see if any of those elements that on your drawing needs any support. If anything that has this big intensity needs some support from outside. It could be from the outside the lines. So for example, on this one, it's so intense that first of all, I want to support it on the bottom. I don't know. I don't know what kind of support is it, but I want to feel supported because I don't want to, right now the circle, because of so many lines inside, feels a little bit heavy, feels a little bit emotional and intense. And I want to make sure that there is something on the bottom that will support it, that it may relax and maybe don't feel so heavy, don't feel so overwhelmed. So even it's not the biggest element on this drawing, it still be has this attention point, only because there is so much lines going through this circle. So many lines. Okay, and you may round it like during the drawing, or you can do all those lines and round them later. So I trust my intuition and my feeling, like what do I want right now? Like sometimes I do all these lines and start rounding at the very end, like but for this one, I think that it will be too overwhelming if I just draw all these lines at the same time. So that I need to make sure that I have enough, like that I'm moving through for some reason the word like slow is coming, like that I need some time to slow down, take care of small details, and maybe later come forward. And I see another circle that is coming, like really right now I allow myself to see the circles in the curve that happens here. So I see the small circle here, that's some kind of resource. I can give them names. Sometimes names are coming, like it could be a partner, business partner, or maybe it's your partner, like family partner, or maybe it's your project that you may like initiate, or maybe something skill that you want to learn during this time. So this is I don't know what it is yet. I had so many insights on my prior one that this one I'm just like, okay, let's free the soul and see where does it leads me. See. Okay. And you can make sure that you bring resources from outside. Maybe if you don't know the resource, you can bring the skill that makes you feel calmer and more confident. Like what is, or more competent in something. So, for example, I have this great resource of constellation work that I practice. Oh, it's big. Like it's already surprised me how big and important it is. And I want to support this intense circle. I want to like really a little bit dissolve this energy intensity from this. And I activated, I unpacked the energy from this resource by adding more lines, by adding more connections. Like really bringing this energy toward this project that I'm not aware of it yet. And it's coming quite soon because it's just around the corner of lunar eclipse. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's Monday that I'm teaching class. I'm actually like, I know what is going to be On Monday, I'm starting the course. I'm attending the course. I become a student, and maybe something is very valuable I will learn at that course. Yes, this feels like right. This is probably the. I may bring the Neurographica as a resource as well.
So Anna, I'm a little confused with this.
Okay.
Like I have a major project I'm working on. It has many sub elements to it. It's going to last for probably at least 6 more months, maybe a year. So I'm not sure, and that's like the most important project I have right now. Of course, life has other things, but this is the biggest thing. So I'm not really sure like what to do with that in terms of this drawing.
So does it, did it start it already?
It started like 8 months ago.
Okay, so it's a still be continuing project. So it's not a new beginning, but it's still be important for you. You may draw this project and just see, because it's a energy that you will invest in something. So we really looking how we can use this energy, how we can spread this energy among all our projects. Like you can among important projects. So place this project on your journey, on your way, and see how big it is. And just start taking this energy from eclipses, and if they go, if you feel like the energy is going to this project, does it feed the project? Or if it's not, maybe you need to bring other resources outside. Maybe it's confidence, or maybe a partner, or maybe inspiration, or maybe some and you can place them anywhere on your, like really on your drawing. So and you can name them, or you can just activate, like what does it really I'm just like bringing the symbol of resource. That's something that is a very important, very helpful for me, even if I don't know what it is right now, but it will be very important for you to see. So you can just draw a circle and name it as a resource, and see how does it support this project and bring the energy from it. And
Should I break the project out in terms of sub-projects and put sub-projects on this, or should I hold it all as one big project?
I would just do the one big project, but this big project may lead you to something other. So it may be something can be born from it. So just
when this project is done, my life is going to be different. It will be different. I mean, I know that right now, but it's a project that takes a lot of energy, a lot of intellectual energy, emotional energy. It's not a short-term thing. It's really big. It has a lot of sub-projects, and I know when it's done, my life now and after, it's going to be different. There's no two ways about it. But okay, so I'll just draw it as one big circle, I guess, on here.
So
I mean, an
it's
actuality.
up to you.
Okay.
It's up to, like, really, do you see this project as a one project, or is it just a group of smaller ones? Like just experience it. Like maybe it's bigger than you expect. See how big is it, how is it emotional for you. Maybe and is there anything supporting on this drawing this? Or maybe it's a big project, but another thing could be taking more attention and more emotion. like just explore it. Because we expected like, oh, I have a big, for example, I expected that this project, like that I begin the course, is a very big and emotional for me, and it's not. For me, this is a focus of my emotionals. This is the focus of my emotional experiences. So, and I concentrate and I trust it, and this is actually supporting all of them and helping me to move forward. So maybe your project is a resource for something else that is going to appear on your drawing.
That's an interesting way to put it. Okay, thank you.
I don't know if you noticed, but for me, the drawing is really, it's like you started and you think that you know what you're doing, but at some point it starts living its own life, and you just observe it, and like really, what does it try to tell you? Like, what is my subconscious mind is trying to communicate me? And it's a sacred and secret language that I'm trying to see, and the only best solution to give the interpretation to this message, to see how my body resonates it, how my emotions resonates it. And if I don't even can verbally prepare myself, I can prepare myself emotionally. So I can allow myself to relax in trust, like, okay, my body feels good, and this is the most important message that I can have from this drawing. And whatever is going to happen, my body will feel good. Or maybe if you don't feel good, you start looking what can make it good. Like maybe I need to bring some quiet time, and quiet time could be a resource. And see if your body relaxing. Like really, we always see how this how body is reacting, how do we really listen to our body? Okay. And it's always interesting, like there is so many elements on the drawing, and some of them has a very, like, the whole focus, the whole curiosity is all about this circle. They all circles, like there's nothing really special about circles, but some of them like really attracting all your attention, all this narrow lines going to this circle, like you're really investing all your energy and time in roundings and exploration of the circle. And some of them standing, they could be much bigger, they could be more perfect, but there is no attraction in them, like there is no really energy in them. And it's in your life as well, there's some events, some projects, like you investing so much energy, and everything is a project, like you're you really investing time and energy in everything, in your relationship, in your work, in your health, in your children. And it's not like a business project, like it could be very creative. Could be art projects. It's children are definitely as an art project. You have to be very creative about them, about raising them. Okay. So how do you feel? How's your body react? Do we have any other confusions? And like, please ask questions because if you confused who are attending all these classes, the rest of my students will be confused as well. So please ask questions so we can make it more clear. Oh. And as always, we are going to do all the steps. We are going to cover everything and find what is the most important on this drawing and see how it's like really affecting. I've noticed that the more I draw Neurographica, the more lines I use. Like my drawings get busier and busier, like line.
And I was going to ask that question. If I just feel like putting more circles in randomly just because.
Just because, do it. Yes. Okay. If you feel like just because I want more. And again, maybe you don't need big circles. Maybe you need small ones, and it will be, but there will be 10 small ones. Like maybe you need just some small support, maybe or maybe some small but regular routine that is helping you to go through this time and see how it's really activating. Small ones are always I want small one here. It's not exactly small one, but it's, and maybe like again try to see if any of those circles, any of those resources already are trying to appear on your drawing. Sometimes we have such curves that you just need to follow a little bit and it will be a circle. So for example, this, I just follow this curve and create a circle. And we can add more lines at any time. Okay, so all my attention is really, and energy is going to this one. I'm so interesting. It's really a very busy circle. And because there is, well, you notice like when we have some circles like very busy with lines, the whole focus of attention goes there immediately because it's just intensity of lines is attracting. And they could be very different. All lines are unique and it's really helps you to find this interesting shapes inside of this circles. Okay. And I even, oh no, I think I know what it is, but it's not really, I cannot be 100% sure. So it's interesting just to see how really it's how is it gonna reveal? I'm very excited and curious already about event that's coming my way, because I'm very well prepared. I know that it will be requiring so much time to work on it, because it's just, but it will be, maybe it's going to be the most memorable and most important thing that is through my experience, like through the whole month. What it's gonna be. And just look at your drawing. See, do you have some kind of balance in your drawing? Do you have every project is supported, or you need more support? Or maybe do you see that energy of all eclipses is unpacked? Do you use this energy? Do you use this potential gift from the universe? It's like really the resource that we can use unconditionally. And it would be interesting to think, what do you want to learn? Like it's the next 18 months, I believe that we all will learn something new. Maybe it's will be related to international as well. Something that from other cultures, from other traditions, because as I said, that this is happens on with Gemini and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about the different cultures, about overseas. We are not going to travel, but we can learn some skills from the other countries. This could be interesting. Maybe something that you are delaying and you want to experience it. I'm so curious, what is going to happen here? Like really, so much energy. It's interesting that it's quite rare that eclipses happens like 3 eclipses in a row. They're usually 2 in a row, but this year is 3, and next time the 3 eclipses is what I found on internet. It's will happen in 2029, so it's a quite rare event. The prior one was I think in 1982. And the maximum eclipses a year are 7 eclipses which really, this year we have 6, and it's already overwhelming year. But when it's a 7, it's hard to imagine what it's going to be.
And aren't we having Mercury retrograde this, like, the next 3 weeks too?
So the Mercury retrograde, I don't think it's retrograded right now, but it's a Venus retrograde. Saturn, I think, is retrograde. Pluto, I think Jupiter and Pluto is retrograding. Like I know that 4 planets are retrograding right now, and Mercury is just about to retrograde, like very soon. Yeah, it will be fun months. And we have other planet that is very active during this lunar eclipse. So, and we can see that it's already causing some restless energies and so much activated rebellions and protests and peoples. So it will be interesting.
According to the internet, June 18th through July 12th, Mercury will be retrograde in Cancer.
Okay, but it's a June 18th.
June
yeah.
18th.
Yeah, so I know that it's not right now, but it's coming. Right now we have Venus. Venus retrograde is always about value, or what is important, like you reevaluate about what is important in your relationship, what is important in your likes, dislikes, in money-wise. So all of this you kind of gives a new perception, like what is important, what is not, how do I value myself, how do I see myself. There could be a big desire to change your outlook. Maybe come back to all the way you looked in past, to change. So it could be. And there is no good or bad times. Like it's time for different purposes. And like there is, when we have retrograde planet, it gives you an opportunity to review what was done before, and if there is need, if we need to finish something, or maybe we need to fix something that was done in rush, and we need to take a closer look and just explore it. So it's always opportunity to do something.
So when you connect your resources to your project circle, in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
are you drawing the neural lines like from that particular resource, like from the inner side of that resource, the end, the circumference of the circle, the side of the circle? Like how deep do you go with those neural lines between the resource and your project?
So it's really, I trust my intuition. Sometimes I do like from resource to my project. Sometimes I reach from the project to the resource. So it's both ways communications. So I can approach to the resource and ask like, I need help, or I allow to help the help appear in my for my project. So it's not, there is no like really clear directions that, oh, you always draw lines from the resource, like from the resource to the project. For example, this one, I feel that I can express these lines from the project and feed the rest of my surroundings this energy, because there's just so much energy there. So I, instead of like collecting more energy to this project, I express it, I expand it, and really feel at ease, because the surroundings are getting more, not necessarily more intense, but equally important, equally energized. So it's again, it's like a, but if your project, if your specific project does not have enough energy, like if you feel this is like this needs more energy, I need to feed this project, I need to find this support from outside, bring from resources and feed the circles, like feed the project. So there is always two ways. So see how do you feel. It's there is no better explanation, like just trust what your body wants to do with this. Like we're talking about circles, but we're talking about symbols. Like the moment you name it, this is my project, especially when it's such important projects that will change your life, there will be body reaction, there will be emotional attachment to this experience, and allow yourself listen and trust this emotions talk to you. What does the project need? Does it need to express energy, or does it need to collect and the energy? Or there is a possibility that the project wants to maybe take some time off. Maybe it needs to rest a little bit and don't get overwhelmed. So just try to explore it and don't force anything, but allow yourself to be surprised and curious. Like, interesting, and see. Remember that what we are doing right now is only in your best intentions. Like it's really what is meant to be, like what is your subconscious mind is trying to guide you. It's not something that we artificially tried to implement. We allow the subconscious mind talk to us in a very safe and a very gentle way. Of course, you will have your free will to decide listen to it or ignore it. Like your mind is still be the ruler, but it's at least you will have this all information. My body is reacting like this. Interesting. Why? What do I need? What does it need? Why do I feel so much pressure when I have so much resources? So. And when we find this, it's really practicing, like we're looking forward and prepare ourselves for some processes that could be challenging or could be just intense. The challenge, even joy could be so intense that it could be uncomfortable. So how we can train the muscle for this emotional experiences. and see. We always, like now we know that we can not just increase the, some shapes, but sometimes if it's really needed, we may dissolve some lines. We may dissolve some shapes in the drawing, like we did in the shadow work. It's always it's a possibility. I would say it could be the last reserve, but it's possible. Okay, so Kenny. Okay. So Kenny, look on the right corner, right lower corner. I see that it's no other right. My right, yes. There is the curve that really gives the sense that something is big is coming, and it's really could be supporting the whole what is going on the top, because you need to make stronger bottom, because bottom is very important, and bottom is representing grounding as well.
Okay.
And it's just like it's already very clear that it's something is already getting born, and it's huge. It's huge. So explore this area, maybe define it, like clearly define it, that you can
like make it like a circle, almost like a
yes,
circle.
yeah, the circle that is going beyond the paper, like it's and it's interesting, like when I look at you, you have this t-shirt with this exactly the same, like almost like a rainbow, shine bright. So yes, it could be the same, like you just defined that this is a part of the bigger.
Okay.
And everything else that is on top of it can rest on it. You don't really need to name what it is right now, but just it's getting you, it's so close, and it's so big that it will be impossible to miss. So you just look and see, where does it come from? And I'm right now I'm looking at the schedule that I had when we worked on timeline for the May. It's interesting, so much happened in May that wasn't planned like as on schedule, but it was, and actually the original schedule has changed a lot, but how much has happened very unexpectedly, and very important experiences for me. So I'm like, interesting. And I already did this timeline for June, so we'll see how's it gonna be. What is gonna happen? And what I see from my drawing, that the most important events, the busiest time will be at the beginning of the eclipse season, at the beginning or maybe in the middle of June. The rest is much less intense. So the rest will be just much easier and simpler. Less emotional, I'd say, but the beginning will be some kind of very intense. And we haven't done, but there is always an option that you may do this 2 minutes exercise before this eclipses, or before the drawing, that you can time 2 minutes and see what is your associations related to the eclipse, and see what kind of message it can give you about this important time for you. And see if we usually draw the neural lines from the beginning to the end, but for energy is really not so important which direction does it move. So you may take energy from the end to feed and inspire the beginning. So it's always an opportunity to use this last eclipses, last shapes to feed, to energize, to support something at the beginning. And eclipses are really, they start affecting us much sooner and much later after this, the whole process is. It's not just a one-day thing. It could be up to 6 months. Oh, I have this interesting circle. Born. And if you've got already enough, if you rounded all the corners, you're free to start not rounding, like coloring. You don't need to wait for me. And I just start seeing more and more smaller circles that are like maybe more new projects, small projects or medium-sized projects that are going to be born from this. Okay. So always check what your body is feeling. How do you feel emotionally? So any insights, any?
At one point, my left eye got really hot. just for just like a couple of minutes.
Left eye. Interesting. Eyes actually like a direct connection to our brain. There is even a method, like healing method, that's called brain spotting, and it's very, very effective. Could be very intense as well. That you're working through the eyes and connecting to your brain, and like really can heal some quite big trauma. So left eye. Interesting. Okay, I think I have enough lines. It's like really busy drawing for me today. So I should start coloring and see how it's really going to look. A big bucket of colors. I will do something. I actually want to use this ones today. Will be bright drawing. Very bright. And again, like when we start coloring, we usually notice some corners that we missed. So don't hesitate to round them when you notice something. Now I'm on hunt to see any small circles appearing from the curves. Look at always fun to know. And again, you don't need to like to color. It's like you may blend colors, you may allow them to use, you may mix colors, do the gradient. It's always interesting to see how it goes. Like, I'm already start coloring and shapes are coming. Do you remember what was happening to you in end of 2001, 2002? Any interesting particular events in your life? They're not necessarily will be repeated, but the theme could be somehow similar. Like if it was related to children, or was it related to education, maybe movement?
I think that was right about the time I had an unexpected situation with roommates, and I ended up getting essentially kicked out of my apartment by my roommates.
So
And it was just a misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding. Okay. So you had to find a new location to live.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And one of them was my best friend. So yeah, it was really intense. It's kind of heartbreaking.
Interesting. So you can bring resource as a safe place to live, or maybe clear communication. This could be a great resource, clear communication with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the miscommunication was a problem, this is
Yeah, it was really nobody's fault. It was just a complete misunderstanding. But I also saw it, you know, and years later, I saw it as a gift in a way that I probably didn't need to be in that energy any longer.
yes. It's really like only after some time you recognize how this challenging time was a real blessing for you. It's not everyone can still see it as a blessing, but it's if it was important for you to recognize it, you will.
So how would I put that on here? How are you suggesting I integrate that?
You can just draw a circle somewhere. You see there is a big circle that you drew, and there is 3 circles on top. And you can, these 3 need very clear communications. Yeah, these 3. You can really do another, it should not be big one, but it could be small circle between them that will touch each of them, or maybe even a little bit overlapping, just to make sure that it's communicating well. Yeah.
And can I ask you a question about mine?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if I'll show it to you. This is mine
color.
for now. It's what?
Yeah. It's a beautiful color.
Oh, thank you.
It's a purple, yes? It's or
Yeah.
dark blue, yeah.
It's a purple, color that bled through my paper, but it's good. So I went through, I think in 2001, I went through a pretty big breakup, a really intense breakup at that time. And so if I wanted to draw something about like resolution for that, or if I feel like it's resolved, draw nothing, or.
So what was important in that, it's about relationship, and it's really about, you can bring the healing of a relationship. It's not necessary. Again, it's the theme of relationship can be repeated, but not necessary about like breakups or like getting married. It's just a relationship in general. Like how do you see the partner, yourself in a partnership? So you can, let me see, what would be the best, if resolution is important for you, you can do resolution, but you can.
I feel like it's pretty well resolved, but I do know that that was the super intense, like a lot of grief and loss and during that time. But it was also a huge transition.
But it's you can invite a partnership, and it's just like healthy partnership. What will be important in the partnership? What would be the trust. When we trust to other people, this is could be very healing. So see what was important for you in that. See what was missing in that relationship and what caused such a pain and breakup, and invite this a very important component in important aspect in this one. Like if it was missing trust and honesty, bring the honesty in this drawing. If it was compassion or maybe love, bring love and kindness here. So just see what was missing, so you get invited in this time, so you don't have to experience this painful experience over again, so that it will be some kind of new level when you have it.
And that could be anywhere on the drawing, just like a circle.
Yes, wherever you feel this this belonging.
Okay.
And
great.
maybe you drew already like some circle just because. Maybe you see you already invited it on the drawing. You just did not name it. See, maybe it's already there.
Yeah, I think it needs a specific one. I have a spot.
Okay.
Thank you.
And again, like trust which size you want. Like, do you want it like really be noticeable and make it bigger, or maybe it's a smaller one? And what I've noticed that this one has a very interesting eye. Oh my, this is looking at me. It's interesting. Like I was so into speech, and I've noticed that this is looking at me. Interesting.
Okay, thanks. I'll see what I can find.
Okay, and it will be you see, like when you draw it. See, does it still be intense for you? Does it attracts all your energy? And if it does, you may even more highlight it with colors and make it more important element on your drawing. Or maybe it will be organically dissolved in everything that is around. So just notice what is it trying to tell you, like how is it important, and maybe it's already there. You just don't recognize it as intense. Now I'm like thinking about mine. What was the challenge for me? Like, and what do I want to invite so it will be easier for me? I actually, at that time, so much was happening, so many beautiful changes, and I was very excited. But there was some miscommunicating with a friend, and and the friendship ended just because the miscommunication, and I was not even aware of it. So it's interesting. So that only several years later, I learned about it. Oh, this is why the friendship ended. Okay. Maybe I need some Communication. Yeah. Clear communication. Where does it belong? It's interesting. It's so easy to give you advice, girls, and it's very hard to find where does it belong. Clear communication. Clear communication will be here. With friends, with group of people. Okay. It's a different feelings now. It's surprisingly it's emotional when you inviting something that was missing even a long time ago, but it still be emotional. At least it's emotional for me.
Yeah, it was really healing to put something in for me. So thank you.
It's not like just, again, it's not just a circle that I drew. It's really inviting this bigger meaning, bigger feeling in my life. And I make it very bright and very clear. That communication will be bright. It's already like third time I draw this exercise, the same topic, and every time something new is coming, something is very important. I'm like, how much more insights I need about this eclipse season.
Well, you say it's a 3 days of eclipse, different days, so 3 pictures. That's what you covered.
Yes. Very well prepared.
Anna, can you repeat why 18 and a half years that we're thinking about?
So because karmic notes, this north node and south node, it takes them 18.6 years to move the whole cycle, the whole circle around the zodiac. They stay about 18 months in every sign, so they moving quite slow, and about 18 and a half years ago, they were at the same point, pretty much at the same point as they are right now. So the same themes, the same topics in your life will be activated. They can be different movie, but it will be like, if it was about relationship, it can be about relationship, but a different, like you probably was separating 18 and a half years, but this time you maybe get married, or but the theme about relationship will be the same. Or maybe with children, like 18 and a half years you had a baby, and this year it may be very emotional separation when child is moving to college or moving out of the house. So it's the topic is the same, but it's just a different outcomes. So don't expect that, like, okay, it was a breakup, so it will be breakup this year, but it will be something is going on in relationship. Or maybe if you moved to another country, or moved, like changed residence, it can be related to your home or place. And like, for example, the last one, for me, that about 19 years ago, I moved from one country to another. And this year, I still was like so much time spending at home. And it's like really not, I know that everybody is spending time at home, but it's for me, it's whole different level that it's important for me. I think I did not really give you the clear answers because
Oh no, you did. You did. And it's interesting because mine was also about moving countries and home. So just your personal sharing is helpful too.
So in astrology, it's a really complex system. It has all this movement, not just in zodiac, but there is a concept of 12 topics, 12 houses, and wherever this karmic nodes are going through, this house will be activated and really will implement some events around this topic. For example, in my chart, there will be so much about education and and communication. So this will be very big subject for me for next 18 and a half years, or for next 18 and a half months, so not years. And by looking back, I was like really, it's just confirming that yes, it was about communication. I was learning a new language and establishing new relationship with new people in new country. And it was a very interesting time. And we did, like, actually at that time, we did at least 3 big road trips to California from Seattle. It's like we were moving constantly, trying to see every corner of this Pacific side. Okay, so for some reason, okay, I see you. See what you want to try. What are you trying to tell me? You will be unusual shape. another subject, when just karmic nodes are crossing your natal planets, it's a different intensity when you really will be feeling it. Like you will feel some actions and events will happen. And in my case, two of those eclipses are happening on very important planets. Like one of them, like solar eclipse, is really happening on right on my planet, like right on it. And it's like, so this is, I'm excited to see how it's going to happen. Like how is it, what kind of events it will activate and see. Okay. And I keep adding more and more circles. I'm like, really, I'm getting busier and busier on my drawing. Even I already started to add some colors, I still see this. I don't know, is it projects or resources are coming? I'm like, okay, bring it on. Let's see what they will be about. And again, one more. I hope it's gonna be resources. Because I already have so many projects. And I wanted to share with you, like tomorrow with a Russian group, we are going to do a class about Neurographica and Ho'oponopono methods, like Hawaiian methods. So if you're interested, we can do with you later as well. This is like really a great opportunity to find resolution with any relationship that we're feeling still be emotional. So, and of course, it's a resolution with a relationship with our own soul, with our own body. It could be different levels of resolutions and different levels of connections.
I think that sounds really interesting. I've read that book, so I'd be interested in seeing how you play it out in Neurographica.
Tomorrow I will know for sure how I'm going to play with this. Because I have 24 hours and I already have a quite clear concept what I'm going to do. But the great ideas are always coming right like night before. So at the evening, I have this big, when I fall asleep, I have always some kind of inspirations. I'm one of those people who are working very well right before the deadline. So it's a painful to see that my son is the same. So he has delaying all his project till the very end. But I know that this is a very interesting, like this is really how this brain start working, like when it's really activated, and find very unusual solutions, very unusual um, uh, decisions. It's interesting. So I try to teach him about time management and everything, but it's for when it's question about creative solutions, creative projects, there is something that you really need to know about yourself. How do you operate? What is your strongest side? And I was annoyed about like, why do no good ideas are coming, but at the deadline, I'm like, I have fountain of good ideas. So now I'm not as stressed when I have to delay something till the. So it's not on purpose. It just like always happens. My pencils are getting small. Okay, when we start coloring, I'm like so into different realm. I'm so excited about it, like a child. I created my coloring book, and it's and I like it, and it's unique, and it's only me who has it. So I'm like, I hope you feel the same way about your coloring. Do we have any questions? So, do we have any experiences? How's your body is feeling? How's your emotions? Do you feel anxious, or is there any like really see if any changes since we began, and is it still be clear? Is it began to be clear for you what we are doing, or is it still be some confusion? So see, check with you and see, like, what do you really feel? How do you really feel? Be very honest. And again, like, if you for some reason feel like your drawing needs to be darker, allow yourself to make it darker, to make it unusual for you. Today I was talking with one of my students, well, not exactly my student, but somebody I'm mentoring. And I said, like, don't try to ruin your drawing. Like, really, try to experiment, see where does it lead you? How does it feel to be adventurous? And even if you ruin something, this is really the point for the creativity, how you can find the beauty and adjust it, make it something different, maybe unusual, not what you've done before. To make them green. See if you want to use unusual materials on this one. And it's a little bit too late to say right now, but like for future, of course, you may sign every object, like every element on your drawing, if you want to remember exactly what was it. But even if I do sign some of these objects on some of my other drawings, in most cases, the name will be so integrated in the drawing that it will be impossible to read. So I already kind of gave up and don't really do some signing. So for me, it's really important to see that it's on my drawing, that this has already implemented on my drawing. You don't need to color everything, so usually about 70–80% colored and the rest is white is the best proportion. I'm quite intense person, so I have, in most cases, I color everything. So very rarely I leave some open spaces, like it's a, mostly it's an exclusion.
I love the green. That's beautiful.
Yes, it like really makes everything pop.
You're into symbolism. I just picked out an Oreo cookie, and the crisp part are both backwards. It's an inside out Oreo.
Okay, so something will be.
I like it.
I was visiting today Bartle Drugs, and I was surprised that the Girl Scouts cookies are sold in Bartle Drugs now. So if anyone wants mint thins, they can find it there. It's really. Okay.
So Anna, if I decide not to color all of mine, does it matter like if you leave where the spots are left open, or if there's a whole bunch of spots open, or?
So just see that colors are organically spread, like that there is a balance in the colors along your drawing. That there is no like half of the drawing is empty and half of this colorful. It will be like too much contrast. And again, the white is usually represents unknown, something that you feel comfortable when you don't know. But when you want to see, like if you have anxiety about unknown, you may color more and see like maybe you don't you are not ready to look at something is more closer, like to feel it more with emotions. But it's just pay attention to like which ones you don't want to color, which areas. It's information for you.
So like I don't want to color the very top to the very bottoms of this.
Oh, like it's not like really much that you're missing, so you can leave it. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
And
Thanks.
it's interesting how it's like really creating this tunnel.
Yeah, it feels like there's a theme
movement
through, but then there's the spots that are left unknown.
Okay. And whatever is important for you, like on this drawing, for example, about the relationship we were talking before, if it's still be important for you on this drawing, if it's really bringing your attention, you may even highlight it even more with colors or maybe some shading on it.
Okay.
And really make it visible, like when you look at this drawing, so you don't have to look like, oh, this is what, like, you, where is it, like, I don't remember. You can see it clearly, like, oh, this is my comfort with communications, or like in partnership, or maybe it's love and kindness, whatever you were inviting in your life.
So can I also just take a black marker and outline it, or
you can make it, yes, you can just make a bolder line, and it will be could be noticeable. And I prefer highlighted more with colors.
Okay.
But it's up to you. So the again, like if you make bolder lines, make sure that you round all these corners, because the thick line will be creating new corners.
Okay.
Just be aware of it. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Want some. And I'm not sure if I showed you before, but I found this, my first album with my first drawings, and I just wanted to show you how primitive it used to be, but it didn't matter. It's like really was working at that time, and it was like right now I'm nothing to do with Neurographica, but it's this is just was a beginning, and how it can really be changing. So some, like you see, the narrow line is just like parallel lines, and it was my concept of the help, and everything that I'm teaching you do not do or try to avoid, I did all those mistakes myself. So this is like really how it was intense and no really connecting to the world, and how it's really changed. Like I'm so excited how much it's changed, and it's like, oh, this was a very intense. So it's like, this is just like, I'm looking back and I'm so excited, like really, if from this simple drawings, there is a whole journey like to what I'm doing right now. And this is like really was beautiful path, like really changing, so much changing. And
Those are gorgeous.
some of them, yes. But it's like they were changing. Like there was a quite a long time when I just did colorful monochrome. Like I did not really color them. Some of them, like, so yeah, the whole album of such drawings. And I have about like this is the smallest one. This was my travel album. So I was traveling and drawing on my journeys.
That top one looks like a robin's egg.
Oh yeah, like there's so many different ones. Like this is 3.
Wow.
Like some of them like very interesting. And I was experimenting, like there's some drawing that I was just like playing with spirals and see how do I activate energies. Again, like I learned Neurographica from a friend on a napkin that she showed me. So there was no much understanding. This is just the spirals, and I just like played with this, see how it's really working. And so because there was no understanding, I was like constantly experimenting and see like, what if I tried this? How do I feel? Like, what if I tried this? And like, this was a beautiful time. Now I feel like I do experiment as well, but on a different scale, on different level of understanding, and this is interesting. And I have already like the whole list of the themes that like really we can play with this and see how we can integrate beautiful techniques that already created and like existing for some of them thousands years, and how we can use this concept and go deeper, like go and integrate very deep in our subconscious mind, and just different level. So I was like just on Thursday, I was talking to a psychologist, like she's a art therapist in Ukraine, and she says that like working with, especially working with children, she said like the Neurographica is the only method she knows that gives the most effective integration, like the longest effect. Even art therapy, like concept of the art therapy is very effective, but this has a different level of effects and like the different consistency. And it's especially it's in her observations, like again, it's her experience. I don't have so much experience yet to really insist on anything, but she's doing it for several years, and she says it's especially with children who are rebellious, like who really nobody really understand them, and nobody really told them how to listen their body, like they're like to pay attention to their emotions. And this is a great opportunity to be one-on-one, like it's always you and your drawing, and listen to yourself, like what does it tell you, like what does it really helps you, like not that necessarily helps, like what does it want to show you. So it was like very inspiring just even to listen to her. So it's so interesting. And when we have a lunar eclipse, I'm coming back to something that I forgot to tell you, that when we have a lunar eclipse, the lunar eclipses, particularly this one, is happening on the south node. It means we need to see what are we ready to let go, like what we are ready to don't have attachments to. So where does it, because when we let go something, releasing it, we're releasing energy that is holding it, like what, and it's gives you potential to invite something new in your life. So I know that it's easy to say like just let go, But just even see, what do you want to let go? Maybe you don't have enough energy right now. Maybe you don't have enough understanding how to do it. Like, but just look and look honestly and see, maybe this is ready to go. Maybe I'm ready to let it set it free. What is very good to do during the eclipse season, to let go your old bad hobbies. Like if you want to quit smoking, drinking, any like if you want to reduce your sugar, it's very good to start during the eclipse season. And like especially on lunar eclipses, it's has a very effective potential.
Anna?
Yes.
So I just looked up on my chart because you were talking about Sagittarius and all of that, and my moon is in Sagittarius.
Which degree?
25th.
So the 25th is a little bit out of the eclipse, because eclipse is happening on Sagittarius 15, so 12 degrees.
I think I'm reading this right. It says 25 Sagittarius, then it has 51 with a little mark next to it, and then a 50.
Yeah, it's so it will not directly affecting this eclipse, your moon, but maybe it will be passing it quite soon. So maybe within next 6 months, it will the node is going backward, so it will affecting you.
It also says Neptune, I got Sagittarius, and my true node is Sagittarius.
So if you're which degree Neptune is?
9.
Okay. My Neptune is in Sagittarius as well, so it's a very the eclipse is happening on my Neptune, so it's there will be some changes in your belief systems. There will be some inspirations and something needs, but before any inspiration, something needs to let go. Like you need to let go some outdated belief systems.
Okay. And the true node, because you were talking about north and south node, but I have the true node.
They like very close. It's like really doesn't affecting much. So
that's 21 degrees.
In Sagittarius as well?
Yep.
So you have a return. Wow, it's so when we have this when we are born, we have already like our map, natal chart, and everything is aligned. Our destiny and everything is on this natal chart, and we have the specific position of our natal nodes, like this karmic nodes in our natal chart. Every 18.5 years, the nodes are doing the whole circle and it's coming back. So it's a 18.5, 37, and again and again. So when it's coming back to your original position when you are born, this is really like the universe is looking at you and sees how close to your karmic lesson, like do you learn it, do you achieve it, do you like doing anything in this direction, or you are avoiding experiences and like really ignoring your karmic destiny. This could be for those who are doing well, it could be a blessing. It could be great opportunities to move faster. But for those who are out of the track, like really like changing, trying or going even opposite direction, this could be challenging time to find this solution, like to find this because there will be forcing in this case, and universe can be quite ruthless when it's tried to make sure that you're moving in the right direction. So if you have a natal chart in Sagittarius, you need, again, it's my interpretation, and I'm not as experienced as you can find other astrologers. It's that you need to learn how to be more international, to be maybe even a teacher or guide to some, maybe even some inspire religion, not necessarily religious, it's not always about religious, but maybe spiritual inspiration for somebody. So just easy mission.
It resonates.
Like, see where you are, like, is it close to you? Is it what you're trying to do, something very similar, or at least going this direction?
I'm going this direction.
Okay, so this is good. It means that you may have additional support and additional resources to go faster. So it's like some bonuses related to it.
Hmm.
And again, when it's not easy for when we have this karmic destination, it's not what we know how to do. This is what we need to learn. This is what is usually hard for us to do. Like, this is where we have to find all this other gifts to support us in reaching this goal. So it's really interesting how we overcoming challenges to become somebody better, somebody maybe not, we're really stepping out from the comfort zone when we're talking about our karmic lesson. It's and there is so many free charts. They're not great, but they at least can give you some understanding of what is my karmic destination, like how do I really, where do I go? Do I go right direction or see? This is just interesting, just and when you know it, it's everything is everything in place, like really, oh, this is why it's going on, this is why it's really I was forced to experience this and that. Everything some kind of makes sense at the my first astrology reading I had about 7 years ago, and the astrologer said, like, you are going to teach, and I'm like, who? I'm a tax advisor. What I'm going to teach? Taxes? And so he said, like, no, it will be anything but taxes. So I was like, really was very skeptical about the whole reading because it really didn't sound correct to me.
And look at you now.
And look at me now. So we really we don't know where we are going to be in a year, and not even talking about 5-6 years and lifetime, especially when we're talking about like this is your lifetime journey. When you look at your natal chart and see where does it lead you, and it's just I'm like, I was so laughing recently about it, like that. Okay, so now, yeah, when he said like this is your life potential, that this is, you can be this and that, I'm like, okay, bye bye. Wasted money. I'm much more wiser, and and I would ask much more detailed questions about this experience now.
I had a friend that had a reading, and she was told that she was going to have 3 kids, but the third kid was just not coming. And then many years later, and another marriage later, and she thought she couldn't have kids, so she just got off the birth control. And at 43, she had a natural baby.
Good. Yes, it's
she didn't see that coming.
It's amazing how much you can see in natal chart. And of course, I'm talking about good astrologers. There is so many different ones, and right now it's getting more and more popular. And unfortunately, I'm not the good one yet. But when I will have time, I will become one, because I'm so dedicated. I'm so excited about it, and it's I believe it's a really great potential to guide yourself through the sometimes very challenging times in life, and have
I found it's definitely one of the most consistent things that was like correct.
Yes, yeah.
Guiding me.
And there are different methods, there are different systems, and you just need to find which one resonates the most with you, and which one really gives you, and you need to find your astrologer. Like, really, it's a astrology is very complex, and as any complex system, the most important is the person who can give the interpretation. So try to find one if you want. If you don't, it's okay. My husband really thinks that astrology is anything but science, and it's like, you really, it drives him crazy when I start saying like, don't schedule any meetings, or like your meetings are going to go like south because it's a Mercury retrograde. He, like, when I mention Mercury retrograde, he laughs at me so much. It's like,
Google it. You can Google it. It's there. It's real. It's a thing. You work with the public, you learn how real it is.
Yeah.
I had my star chart done one time, and she almost started crying. I'm like, well, that's not good, is it? That was a few years ago.
Yes.
She's like, it's not going to get better until May, and it was like November, and I'm like, well, at least it's going to get better.
Yes, like there is some, of course, there are some challenging times, and it's again, it's an opportunity to grow. It's opportunity to expand yourself through discomfort, to find the peace in discomfort as well. Oh my, like my drawing is like really it's a fireworks. It's so very colorful today. I'm like, interesting how different it is now. So, and it's the same topic. I'm going like a different level of excitement. It's interesting. And I'm not the person who's like really there. I know that there are some people who every decision schedule according to the natal chart and like all these transits and everything. I'm like, no, it's not me. But sometimes like big events, and I know that some of this changes in my life, I'm checking just be prepared what to expect, where like if I need to have some rest time before and save some time to make sure that I will have enough energy to move forward later.
Yeah, I don't follow it like, you know, daily or anything. I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very helpful when working with the public to have that.
Yes. Yeah, like the people don't expect how much they really resonate with the what above so beyond. So what's above so beyond, so it's really we are affected. Oh, here we are. I have a thunderstorm confirming. Okay. Let's see. Let me do some more, and I think I'm done with this firework. It's like really.
All right. I think I'm done. Well, at least for now.
Yes, it can be changed eventually, and see what you want to highlight in your drawing, what maybe resource or maybe project. See what is really brings, what you want to bring forward, what you want to notice. I still focus on this event that was like the most intense. And even with color, there was a desire to highlight it.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this was important. Okay, so I see. So I see this beautiful river of blue color, and how this, I love how it's light. Like there is no overwhelming intensity. How, like, it's so light. So I'm a little bit jealous because mine is just intense. So
mine usually looks more like yours.
but it's and it's important for that it's comfortable for you, that you feel comfortable. So this in dark blue color, does it, this is the one that you wanted to highlight?
That's the communication one.
This is a communication.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the support for communication.
Mm-hmm.
For
it's
all
interesting. It's like the pivot stone, like really like the grounding stone that everything is leaning on. Like all the three are really leaning on this communication. So what I want to encourage you to maybe highlight this original lines that we did, those original lines of this
the path,
karmic destiny, yes, karmic journey, yes, yes. Just make sure that you still see it, and it seems like you highlighted with the blue color with the river. So you're already identified it. So in your case, it's perfectly fine. What else? Again, don't hesitate to color surroundings, because like when you are bright and colorful, it will be more pleasant for you to see that society around you, the community around you is as colorful and as fun as you are. That you will be able to relax and learn more from such community. So don't be afraid to get lost in other somebody else's colors, but allow them to be maybe not as blank as they are right now. Okay, just see what kind of community I want around me, and see how it's like really can be played.
Like my avocado?
Yes, I see something beautiful.
Or an eye.
Yes, something very interesting getting. And it's if you notice, this is not just stagnated, but it's really moving forward. It's like going to be born from this beautiful green womb that is holding it. It's like really some movement. There is a
As you're
dynamic.
talking about it, I'm feeling interesting.
Okay, so experience it. Stay with this. It's interesting. So thank you. Thanks for sharing, and thank you for very active participation. It's always pleasure answer questions and talk to you girls. It's so any other comments? Do you want to show the drawings? Do you want to share anything?
I'll show my drawing. I think it's pretty much the same, but I did color it a little bit more.
Okay.
It's hard because they're on my phone. So here's mine. Can you see it?
Okay, so what I've noticed is you have so much orange color.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And orange color is always about pleasure. Allow myself to feel satisfied by maybe not something big, but something but about something like some pleasure, like it could be body pleasures, it could be emotional pleasures, it could be creative pleasures. So think what kind of pleasures you can allow yourself. Maybe see a good movie, maybe read a good book, maybe eat a good food. So what is the pleasure for you? And what is really gives you the feeling of satisfaction? How do you find this? Because the orange is like really dominant in yours, especially one of the biggest circles is like the whole.
This orange is the one that I put in last, the one that I really highlighted right here.
Okay.
And then these actually feel like people to me, this one and this one.
Interesting. Like, wait, let me make it bigger so.
Okay, I don't know if you can see them.
And like when you look at your people, do they look at each other? It seems like they do. There's some
grounding thing there, or there's something that, yeah, maybe they're looking at each other, or maybe they're just holding up, because this was my original line, so they're kind of underneath my lines. But
at least they supporting it. So like if they're holding it, means that they supporting.
Yeah.
So again, the theme of relationship can come. Orange can represent sex as well. and look at you. You are in orange t-shirt. So you and just
18 and a half years later, I might be ready. So.
Yeah, I think it's about the right time. And again, besides the orange, you have a beautiful green, and it's a very, it's about new beginnings and about kindness and curiosity. And you see how the green is really connecting those people. So see what kind of like, be curious about people, and especially about men. They changed in 18 and a half years for sure.
Yeah, a little timeline there. Huh,
It's
okay.
almost the same color actually with Anna. You're pretty similar actually.
Oh, the brightness.
Yeah, the color, like you're choosing, you know.
Mm.
Anna's a little bit more brighter, but you kind of like from the, you know, screen. I was like, oh, interesting.
Okay. Now I look at mine and see as much orange as you.
Yeah, you see orange there. There we go.
Okay, I love pleasures.
I love pleasure too. I'm not denying that.
It's a good. I will take it. Please wrap it up.
Now I want to add orange.
Do it. Like, do you have some space? Okay. Anyone else wants to share? Are we almost about wrapping up?
Mine's not finished, but
okay. Wow, it's a golden and it's a huge. And look at the spirals. Like really, there's so much energy. It's like you open some vortex there.
yeah, that felt really good.
And this interesting. This the element that you with green leaves. It's like big golden apple or golden orange. That's it's interesting. It's like you have like whenever you draw, you have this cosmos, big cosmic energies on your drawings. The only thing that I want to pay attention to left lower corner, or like no up another left on my side.
Okay, yeah,
it's a little bit empty. So
yeah.
if you want to support those vortexes and maybe even just explore it a little bit more with lines.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
A little bit supporting, because
great.
Beautiful, and I'm like always curious how it's gonna be at the end, but it's
yeah, I love that process of not knowing either.
Yeah, Trisha, we need to see some of your old pictures that have been finished. We never get to see the finished product.
I'm such a dawdler. Yeah, I'll do that next time.
I've seen some of them and they're very beautiful. So, hello.
Yeah, I'm always trying to go, how do you color like that? Mine doesn't end up looking like that. So I'm learning from her. Yes.
So it's good that you are different. That's why you are together.
Yeah.
Because it would be just boring to be the same. So
it would be. It would be.
And it's coming from inside. It's different people, and it's interesting how different people see different things in their drawings. And some, for example, Trisha sees always cosmic events, big events, very dramatic sometimes, with very light colors.
Right.
You don't really need big colors to see the drama. But other people need more defined and more intense in colors. So it's like a different vision, different level of vision. Okay, so are you ready to show us your masterpiece?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, well, it's I came in late, so I didn't get here till like 7.
Okay.
So I'm not done yet, but it's just.
So is it yellow or is it more brown?
Oh, the one in the middle, it's kind of a orangey brown.
Orangey brown. Okay.
but it just got started, so I didn't have time to color it.
Yes, yes, yes. So what I want, define better your karmic path, like make it more bolder so you really see what is, where do you heading, like what is my path, even if you don't know it, make it clear still be. And what is the small teeny tiny but very intense ball or circle on, I don't know, it's on my right, but it could be on your left.
On my left, over here?
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes, yes. Like some small, very teeny tiny circle.
Yeah.
Like if you, but it's very intense. Somehow it's so much energy there. When you are going to color, see how this will play. Like if this circle needs any support, or because it's just there is a, like my focus is there. And I see that you did on one of them, you actually did catharsis on two of them.
Yeah, right there.
Allow yourself to expand those lines from the catharsis outside, that you like releasing this inner pressure outside and dissolving it with surroundings, so you don't feel this uneven intensity in this. Like make it a little bit more
Connected with other things.
more connected. Yes,
Yeah.
connection is really helping us to release this responsibilities and release some of those intensities. And on your drawings I see very clear big hearts, but it's interesting if you will see it. So it's
I can see it, yeah.
Oh yeah? No, I don't.
Definitely. He's got one of those, you know, so.
I happen to have that. Yeah, the whole time I felt like crying, so I don't know what that was about.
It's very good. So if you feel crying, allow yourself to connect more to other resources, and you can, like, you have enough space to bring more resources.
Yeah.
And if you need, if those resources will be that I need sometimes to cry, it's okay. You bring this resource as a permission for yourself to be vulnerable, to feel sensitive, and feel not judged by, first of all, by yourself. Like I know that like strong men don't cry, but it's such a limiting cliche that like really it's only strong men can't cry, so allow themselves. So it's like so bring all resources as much as you need. And I'm like very curious how it's gonna be played out. So
Okay, good idea. I'll do that.
See, like resources could be what kind of emotions I want to feel, or maybe what kind of skills I want to learn during this time. So be very generous with yourself. Allow yourself to do something unusual, maybe not very comfortable at the beginning, but it can be very powerful for you. Okay. I found, wow, how she's coloring. She's using paint.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. This is my first time trying.
Because I was like, how she's doing so beautiful blending colors. Figure out.
Surprise.
Mystery solved. Thank you for sharing it. Okay, so thanks a lot. So anyone else?
Did you say we're not doing neural lines on this one? Or not, I mean, the...
Field lines, I really, like on my drawing, for example, I see them quite bold. I still see, but I really encourage you to make them maybe highlight even more, so you see him. This is my journey, my life journey. This is just a small milestones on my life journey, and I want to stay on the focus and I want to move forward. So if you allow yourself, you can make it a little bit more defined, and it's not necessary to be defined with boldness of lines like this, that it should be very thick lines, but you can more highlight with colors, more highlight maybe with shadings, some on top of it, and some kind of guidance, like really this is my map and I just follow it. And on this season, I know for sure that it will be very important event for me at the beginning, somewhere close to the lunar eclipse. I very highlighted the clear communications, thanks to Kenny. This is a very important for me too. And I really love this green, fresh circles on this path, like everywhere, big and small, and they give me sense that easiness, that there is some new beginning that really not overwhelming. They could be small but fun, and they like playful, and it's very inspiring. And another thing that I see, this interesting eye that is watching me, so we'll see. So I usually represent God traditionally, so it's okay, somebody's watching me from the above. Okay, so let me switch camera, and I'm about to say my gratitude. So thanks a lot for the coming. Like really so excited about like that we can go and draw something very complex. It's a very intense subject. So for next class, we can do work with ourselves and with our portraits. I'm pretty sure I showed you last. Let me see. There's so many albums here. So which one is this one? I'm like have this archives of my drawings. I should. There's so much to experience. So if we want, I'm just asking your opinion. So if we want to work with our portrait and see how we really feel connected to ourselves, like this. This is mine, and it's, of course it's this is mine. You see it, modest, and I drew third eye to myself, and it's not actually there was intent, like my intention. It just appeared, and it was good. And I'll show you the one that I did for my mom. So if you want to explore and have a completely different relationship with a person, another person, this
oh wow,
this is my mom drawing. So for this one, on you can use a printer. Just choose the picture that you portrait. It could be full size, body size, or just a portrait of your face. Online you can find software that can create outline, and you just pencil outlines, go through these filters, and save this new outline of your portrait and print it on the just regular paper. So, and we will draw it and see. It's another thing that I highly recommend, but if you have, it's great. If you don't, we can work with ultra fine Sharpie. What I recommend to have ultra fine liners. I have 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So I use usually Statler, but you can use any liners or maybe gel pens. They can be quite fun to work with. And it will be fun project. I'm really enjoyed it. Like I really love it, and I've done it several times. I did only my face, and I did body, and I did body, the whole size of me. That the pictures that I really did not like, and change the whole perception of myself and integrated it in the tree. So I changed the look in the tree and filled myself with so much energy and resources. So next class we will work with the portrait, and maybe week after we will work with the Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. I struggle with pronunciation this technique, but we'll see how it works.
So the ultrafine
Thanks
markers
again.
are for later.
Have a great eclipse season. I hope it will be very exciting for everyone, and it will be what we need to learn, what we need to acquire skills and knowledge on our journey. And I hope that this drawing really helped you to see where you need resources, and maybe find some peace and excitement about this interesting time. Like I'm very excited. Like the third drawing is I love my first two, but the third one is like really like it's a firework. So have a great night. I will see you next week.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Good night.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Anna.